Greetings, Bent T viewers. Last week we come to you from the snow. This week we come to you from the show. That is right. We are here at the Royal Melbourne Show, here in Ascot Vale. Now you may be thinking, but the show is over. How can this be? How can they be bringing me the show? It's because we love you so much and we hate for you to miss out on the Royal Melbourne Show that we have recreated the entire thing right here in my own lounge room. Now, the Royal Melbourne Show, 156 years ago, 17 farmers got together to have a competition to see who could actually plough the straightest trough in a paddock. And as the years went by, this annual event attracted onlookers, entertainers and a lot of traders as well, and eventually in the 1870s earned its name the Royal Melbourne Show, and also had displays of farming equipment, dairy products, shearing demonstrations, along with some novelty items which included washing machines, steam engines and of course knife polishing. Now, after Moonee Ponds, the Royal Melbourne Show made its home in Parkville, South Yarra, and then finally right here in Ascot Vale. Now, in our show coming up tonight, we will have cute furry animals, there's stalls, we take you for a ride, and also we have in our show Q Calendar, we have Q View, where our panellists get a few things off their chest. But first, Vic visited Eagle Leather to find out what exactly it is all about. Take it away, Vic.
Hi, I'm Vic Perry and here I am with the owner of Eagle Leather Melbourne. How are you, Brian?
G'day, Vic. Good to meet you.
Good. This shop's been here for quite a while now. How many years has Eagle Leather been about?
Well, Eagle Leather's just celebrated its 10th birthday in June and July. We've been in this location for nearly 5 years, and before that we were a block up the road for 5 years as well.
And what do you sell here? Apart from leather?
Well, Eagle Leather is virtually a men's department store, quite frankly. We sell leather, latex, PVC, Daleks and lycra and cotton sportswear clothing for men. But in addition, we have a wide range of accessories. We have specialist books on fetish and leather and BDSM and things like that. We have electric sex toys, butt toys, exclusive imported lubes from the United States, nipple toys, cock and ball toys, pumping equipment, you name it, it's here.
Like a version of leather version of Bunnings almost. What sort of people come here and buy the goods?
Well, we do have mainly a male clientele, although women are welcome to come. I mean, things like whips and paddles don't know gender boundaries, but we do aim to be particularly a specialist men's store. And they're men of all persuasions. There are certainly gay men, bisexual men, and we don't actually line them up at the door and get them to tick a box. But, you know, it's lots of men.
And women?
Yes, as I say, probably about 10% of the clientele are females, and they come to buy the gender-neutral products or perhaps things for their men.
And do people from interstate shop here as well, or do you have a sort of mail order?
Yeah, we have a big online store at www.eagleleather.com.au. But we do have a lot of interstate clients who do distance ordering by email, post, phone and so forth, but also a lot of them when they come to visit Melbourne for things such as Midsummer or Melbourne Leather Festival or big events like Beyond and Redemption and the Laird events, they make a beeline to Eagle Leather as soon as they get off the plane as a rule.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Brian.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks very much, Vic. Now let's go and see what the Royal Melbourne Show has to offer.
These little chicks here, whatever happened to the days of those coloured chicks?
Here coming up, they're also glory hogs, as you can see. I might end this now before I get licked to death. Hello there viewers, now I'm here with Tina and Fireball. Now Tina, what can you tell us about Fireball?
Well, Fireball is a Bengal cat, and they actually were originally bred with an Asian leopard cat to get the amazing spotted coat pattern on them.
Fantastic. Now, I understand that they actually don't have fur as such, it's more of a pelt, so they don't actually molt that much.
No, they don't. It's more like, it actually feels like a mink to the touch, so it's really an amazing coat. And I don't know if you can see on here, but it's really amazing because, no, you can't really pick it up. They actually have like a glitter effect. They have a translucent tip to the end of each hair. So in sunlight, you can actually see a really translucent tip. And the coats, it feels like velvet to touch, and being a different structure to the coat, it means that they tend not to shed as much, and also they tend to be fairly low allergy too.
Fantastic. A cat with glitter, ladies and gentlemen. Can you go wrong with that? Okay, now I also understand that they're quite happy to go for a walk, and they actually like water.
They do, yeah. If you're having a shower, you've got to keep the door shut because they're going to be in there trying to get in there with you. Having a shower, yeah, you run the tap in the bathroom and they're there trying to play with it. So, yeah, they do.
Fantastic. Oh, well, thank you very much for your time, Tina.
That's okay, it was a pleasure.
Okay. And thank you very much, Fireball. And now it's back to the rest of the show.
Here is a display of animals that need more love and care than these cute and cuddly animals.
Warm? Oh, you are warm. And don't you pee on the floor like you did yesterday. This is an olive python. The sad part about Melbourne is that we don't have any pythons that live around Melbourne. We actually only have venomous snakes. There's a head in there somewhere. Oh, down there. Where do you want to go? You can't do that. That looks silly. This is what's well known as a scrub python.
Here we are with Simon, who is our snake handler here at the Royal Melbourne Show. Now, Simon, we've just seen a pretty amazing display of snakes and reptiles up on stage. We've even had Khan, a huge python who decided to pee on stage. So now, I guess one of the first questions that you'd always be asked is, have you ever been bitten?
By a venomous snake, probably once. I was quite seriously bitten. Many years ago, about 12 years ago, I was quite ill from tiger snake envenomation. But the good thing about accidents like that is you learn from it, and ever since I've been much more careful. I take good precautions and use common sense, and I don't get bitten anymore.
Okay, fantastic. Now, we've got quite a large little character here. Now, who do we have here, and what type of snake is he?
This is Montegro, and he is an olive python. Only found up in Northern Australia, not around Victoria or New South Wales. This is only half grown, believe it or not. It's actually got a bit of growing to do yet.
Okay, well, he's quite large. Now, you have a website, snakehandler.com.au. Now, it's quite, from what you've told me, quite a comprehensive site. What type of information can people get from that?
Snakehandler.com.au is based around information about snakes around the house. So for people who have problems with snakes and other reptiles cruising around the house, you can access the information there. Reptile courses information, reptile training courses, and it's quite a base around husbandry as well. So people who want to take up keeping reptiles as pets can access all that information through the site. So it's quite comprehensive.
Fantastic. Now, for someone who has a phobia of snakes, such as myself, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do something I've never done before, never thought I will. I'm going to have Montegro put around my neck. So, I don't know, do you want to hold this one?
Okay. Maybe just come around. You can have half of it and I'll have the other half. Just gently put your hand out there. Beautiful. Like that. Not a worry.
I have nothing to say at this point except I'm very proud of myself. I'm sending a photo of this to my mother. Okay, he's actually, this isn't so bad, to tell the truth. He's very smooth, very dry, and it's like just holding a very long, unfurry puppy, really.
Okay, for all you viewers who are bears out there, there is something for everybody.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have here at the show a big purple thing.
stuff. Turn it off, Sally. It's playing what's hurting my hearing aid. Turn it off. Kids' music, I don't know. It's always a...
Yeah, drop it up to the prize. They're soft and they're cuddly, they're cute and they're lovely. Come on down, drop it up to the prize. Red ducks for $3, $2 for $5. What you gotta do is drop it up to the prize. You never know if you don't give it a go. Don't be shy and walk on by. Come on down and give it a try. $1 for $3, $2 for $5. What you gotta do is drop it up to the prize.
Cher dancers in training.
Everybody was surprised to advise. That's right, truly.
Your eyebrows. Coming up after the break, we've got Q View and we've got Q Calendar. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're now crossing over to Michael and Q View to find out what our panellists need to get off their chest.
Hello and welcome to Q View. A few weeks ago you might have thought we were scraping the panel with the panel that we had on. This week we've done even better. We've got 3 sluts for you with their views of what's going on in the world today. Now, it wouldn't be worth anything with the election going on at the moment if we didn't stop for a sec just to talk about politics in general and our girlfriend Pauline, who's back in the run, of course. But I just want to take it from a different angle for a change. Like, we can all say Liberals have promised this, Labor's going to do that, the Greens are going to be all for marriage, but should we as gay or lesbian or GLIBT community strictly be voting for a political party based on what they're going to do for us as a minority instead of us as people? What do you think?
Well, basically, I mean, I'm not going to be voting on necessarily a party's policies. What I'm going to be voting on is what it says, what their policies say about them. Because,
Okay.
I mean, everyone might be saying, well, I'm not going to be voting for them because I want to get married or because I want people to have the choice. But basically, in my opinion, the Liberal Party have gone out of their way. They've spent their time, they've spent their money, their resources, passing law to actually stop people. So basically, I'm not going to be voting Labor, so I'm not going to be voting Liberal.
But Labor jumped on that bandwagon, didn't they?
They did. But I mean, my point is, I mean, I'm not going to be voting for Liberal for one. For basically,
so you're not a hip pocket voter. Like, if they're offering you $80 tax refunds for next year, that's not going to grab you more?
Well, no, because basically I'm not going to vote for a party that doesn't see me as an equal citizen. They're going to be treating me, charging me the same taxes, etc., etc.
Well, as John Howard said, we're not normal people. What about you, Jason?
I actually think that was taken completely out of context, to be honest with you.
Of course it would have been.
I am voting Liberal, and I am quite happy to say that. I vote 1 through the entire list, and I actually put Labor last. I put the Australian Christian Party before I put Labor Party. That's how much I'm against Labor. So you can take that as much as you like then.
Okay,
come on, Johnny
I can agree with being against the Labor Party because it sort of has a cotton onto what I was going to talk about, which is the smoking problem. Now, they've started it up in Queensland where they've banned all the smoking in all the venues up there, and they're banning it from the streets, and they're actually allowing cafes to stop smoking. And they're stopping people, you can't smoke there now. What are Labor thinking of? They're targeting these groups, they're targeting
You wouldn't
us
smoke
people.
by any chance, do you?
Oh, no, of course not. Yes, I do, unfortunately.
But I mean, the Labor Party, though, is, I think, getting a bit of a bad rap. I mean, they did have to, and I mean this, did have to go along with the Liberals on this because basically the Liberals threw this whole gay marriage thing up to split the Labor Party just prior to a federal election. Hopefully to alienate us as a community and our little 10% voting bloc or whatever it calculates out to be at the moment, to split us and push our votes somewhere else.
Where are they going to push them though?
Exactly.
I mean, if
Do
Liberals
they wanna
doing
lose
that,
them?
yeah, exactly.
Well, Lindsay Tanner, who has always been a great supporter of GLIBT community, said in an interview here on Bent TV a few weeks ago that it's small steps, and the Labor Party would legislate to ban all forms of discrimination against the gays. They just weren't prepared to go that extra mile in terms of gay marriage.
I actually think it's more of a state issue when you come to the GLBTI communities. We're voting on the Commonwealth. We're voting on the running of the country as a
That's
whole.
exactly right.
Yes.
Not just as a small community. There's a country at stake as well.
Exactly.
Not just our state, not just our marriages.
Well,
there's
then,
a country.
should we even consider GLIBT issues when we're voting?
Well,
you're obviously not.
Well,
If they're a Liberal member, no worries.
It comes into play because we're part of the voting community, but on the same token, specific targeting to the GLIBT community, no. Generally, yes, not specific. Gay marriage is not. Yeah, it's a specific issue.
Yeah. All right. Well, enough of election issues. Bent TV is doing major coverage over the whole election period, as we did the last time round. It was a really good one. So stay tuned for Bent TV for that. But mind you, I think everyone on the panel today has a gripe. And Chris Penny, smoking's your gripe, but I don't think it'll be long before they ban smoking, like even in hotels. I don't mean pub hotels, I mean hotels.
In hotels, no, that's understandable. I can see it understanding around food, and food's fine. But what about all these people that choose to smoke? We're choosing to smoke, so therefore, why can't we choose to have our cigarette?
Yes, but people would argue that this $6 billion that it costs us to treat people with diseases that have been caused by smoking.
Granted, create venues.
You know, we're paying for you.
Not necessarily. No. I pay my private healthcare insurance.
Exactly
and I'm
right.
entitled to, if I get lung cancer, then that's my choice. I've paid my blah blah blah. I won't say who, but I've paid my medical fund, and you know, that's something that I deserve. Well, not necessarily deserve. That's probably the wrong way to put it. But if I come up with something,
yeah, but the cost is never ever going to be covered by. Do you know what I mean? Like the cost to the community of smoking is never going to be covered that way. But anyway, we've got to move on.
Yes, indeed.
Because Jason Gruel has an issue, don't you, Jason?
Well, I want to go back to politics, actually.
Okay.
Just on my favourite person, Pauline Hanson.
Oh. We love Pauline.
I love Pauline.
Who's dancing now?
She's great.
She's got one.
In what respect?
She's great. I mean, she's cried on TV. She's a real person. She owns a fish and chip shop. She's not trying to be, you know, trying to pretend that she's something she's not. She's a real person. Okay, she's stuffed up a little bit and she was a bit of a hand puppet at some stage.
If you were in Queensland, you'd vote for her then?
I did vote for her. I lived in Queensland and I voted One Nation.
Well, I noticed it's very interesting.
Watch the letters come in about that one.
Well, this time round, I did see her the other day and they said to her, what are your policies? And she said, I don't have any. And people started to get really narky. I mean, don't remember, she's one person, so she's not a party with policies. So it's not my job to have policies, it's my job to vote on other people's policies. And that's why she feels she has to be in the Senate.
Well, if you look at it, I mean, they actually got 10% of the Commonwealth vote when One Nation went. I mean, that's better than the Democrats have ever done or any of the other parties, any of the other minority parties have ever done. I mean, it was a phenomenal thing. So people want something like that. I mean, a great name for a start, One Nation.
Oh, granted.
Well, especially since the Liberal and Labor governments at the moment, you really can't tell
don't.
much of a difference between Liberal and Labor in terms of policies, etc. I mean, they are pretty much of a muchness. We have to move on.
All right,
now.
Stevie's turn. Stevie's turn.
Very quiet person at the end of the
You've got
video
30
there.
seconds.
30 seconds. Well, basically, I'd like to get to not so much politics but on who to vote for, but how people vote is something that I think really needs to be discussed because Australia politically are full of very apathetic people. They're the first to say that to complain they're all as bad as the other, but they also say, well, Liberal or Labor are going to win, so therefore I may as well vote for one of them, even though they don't believe that either of them deserve to run the country.
A lot of them go into those voting
Yeah,
houses
so how
blind.
I vote is I go in and think, okay, I'm not voting for who do I want to run the country. I think, how do I want my vote to shape this country? So basically, I'll vote for another party, not so much because it's not voting for Liberal or Labor, but it's to boost another party so another party is in more
It's a little bit
potential.
like me. If I vote for Labor in the lower house, I vote Liberal in the upper and vice versa anyway.
Just don't donkey vote.
We've had our
Don't
8
donkey
minutes
vote.
of fame, unfortunately. I'm sorry, guys, but that was our 8 minutes and we've hopefully formed world opinion in that very short time. Very much thank you to Steve Griffiths on the end, next to him Jason Gruel and Chris Penny next to me. Don't forget, if you want to contact us at Q View, it's PO Box 6256 St Kilda Road, Central, Melbourne 8008, or feedback at benttv.org.au. Thank you very much and stay tuned to Q Weekly.
Thank you, Michael. That was Q View. Now, What Q Weekly would not be complete without our Q calendar. Now, first of all, on our Q calendar, playing now and until Saturday the 2nd of October is Take Me Out, and it's playing at the Arts Centre Playhouse. And it's all about shockwaves caused when a baseball player casually reveals to the media that he is gay, just as his team is headed into a championship season. Now, for more information on this, you can contact the Melbourne Theatre Company or the Playhouse. Also on now and until Sunday the 10th of October is the Melbourne Fringe Festival. It is on again. Ignore your mother if she tells you to cut your fringe. More fringe the better! Now, the Melbourne Fringe Festival, there'll be lots of music, visual arts, performing arts, and it will all be showcased around Melbourne during the duration of the Fringe Festival. For more details on that, go to the website at www.melbournefringe.com.au to see what's on offer this year. Now, starting tomorrow, Tuesday the 28th of September, Minus 18 are holding their September event, Dangerous Denim, at the Peel Hotel. It's an underage event and alcohol and drug free. The cost is $15, and for more information, go to the Minus 18 website at www.minus18.org.au. Now, starting Saturday the 2nd of October, or should I say on Saturday the 2nd of October, is One Night in Heaven, a cabaret-style show at Chapel of Chapel with many up-and-coming singing artists raising money for the David Williams Fund. And for more details, you can contact Chapel of Chapel. On Sunday the 3rd of October, the Victorian AIDS Council is holding its Art for AIDS auction at Chapel of Chapel at 3 p.m. And the event is a fundraiser, again for the David Williams Fund, and is also a 20th birthday celebration for the VAC. More artwork is needed for the auction, and for more details, please contact the VAC on 9865 6700. That's 9865 6700. Sisters on the Peninsula, and they're holding a night out at Shakespeare's Bar in Frankston. The cost is $25 and includes entry, finger food and live music. Tickets and more information are available by calling 5975 0040. That's 5975 0040. And finally, on Sunday 17th of October, we have United We Dance 3 at the Market on Commercial Road in South Yarra at 7 p.m. onwards. Entry is $6 and that includes finger food, entertainment and prizes. Come along and enjoy the great music and party atmosphere. All proceeds this year go to Joy Melbourne. Now, if you have a community event that you would like included in Q Calendar, please send us your press release or email us your details to feedback@benttv.org.au, and be sure to include your contact details and also get the information to us as soon as possible to make sure that you can be included. Now, that's all from us at the Royal Melbourne Show for Q Weekly this week. We hope you've had a great time. We sure have, and we'll see you next week. Please tune in.